Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest Colorado TV Translator Association.
If you have a news topic or event you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show runs Tuesday at noon and is uploaded to our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page to watch on demand. Today's January 29th, 2019, and now the news at noon.
From the Cortez Journal with a photo by Erica Alvaro with the Journal. A little after 5 p.m. Monday, firefighters responded to a two-vehicle crash on an intersection along Main Street in Cortez. According to Scott Heidergott, an engineer with the Cortez Fire Protection District, a white SUV was turning left onto northbound Ash Street when a red truck driving westbound on Main Street hit its right side. Neither driver was injured, although both reported some soreness. Heidergott said the truck had front-end damage. The crash occurred along the shoulder of the road out of the main path of traffic.
Reported in the Journal, photo Jim Imiaga, a violent two-vehicle crash Monday at the intersection of Colorado Highway 145 and East Empire Street in Cortez sent one person to the hospital. A work truck with a Sparks Plumbing and Heating emblem was southbound on Colorado 145 when it collided with a Toyota truck in the intersection, said Cortez Sergeant Brandon Gunderson. The cause of the accident is under investigation, he said. The Toyota was pushed off the roadway into a nearby field and was badly damaged. An occupant was transported to Southwest Memorial Hospital. The work truck had severe front-end damage and ended up on the west shoulder facing north. Glass, debris, and a tire littered the intersection. Traffic was delayed, but northbound and southbound drivers were allowed to pass through two open lanes on the east side of the roadway. Witnesses said they heard a loud bang. One who works nearby said the intersection has long been dangerous and that he and others have requested the city put in a stoplight. Cortez Fire Protection District, Cortez Police Department, Southwest Health System, and the Colorado State Patrol responded to the scene.
According to the Cortez Journal, a suspect who was involved in an hours-long standoff in Denver that left a house burning and two police officers hospitalized with gunshot wounds has died. Denver police say the suspect, whose name hasn't been released, died Monday morning. The cause and manner of death have not been released. Police responding to a report of shots fired surrounded a house outside downtown Denver Sunday, deployed a chemical agent, and later arrested the suspects. The two officers who were shot during the confrontation are hospitalized in fair condition. A third officer was hurt in a vehicle accident while heading to the scene and has since been released from the hospital. Firefighters were battling flames at the residence late Sunday, but Police Chief Paul Pazin declined to say how the fire started.
Reported on by Keith Kiesling, contributor for the Dove Creek Press. During the January 17, 2019 meeting of the Dove Creek Board of Trustees, public comment on a liquor license application for the new tavern being opened by Tim Meyer and Shelley Poole was met with no public opposition input. Sheriff Don Wilson spoke in favor of the license, stating the sheriff's office has never had an issue with the State Line Bar and Grill, which is also owned by the same couple. Sheriff Wilson recommended an approval, and a unanimous vote ensued to approve the license. In other business news at the board meeting, Rolane told the board to expect two liquor license transfers next month. The Sinclair license will transfer to Tim Meyer and Shelley Poole, who recently purchased that business, and Frosty's liquor store license will transfer to Francie Wild, who will be operating that business later this spring. In a side note, outside of the town meeting, DCTV has confirmed that does mean at this time the Wild Coffee Shop will terminate their business in its current format in the next month or so. No official update on what other projects Greg and Francie Wild may pursue in addition to owning and running the liquor store. The Waterline project was further discussed at the meeting, with Mayor Martin speaking of his meetings with Doug Pickering and Marty Robbins from the State Water Commission, and another meeting that he will have with the Colorado Department of Local Affairs, or DOLA. The town is looking for that grant money, and a grant process will be highly competitive this year, as there have been requests for over $30 million with only $20 million available. The possible new water dock was also addressed by Dagan Chad, who stated that he had received quotes from $37,000 to $47,000 for the project based on the scenario of one or two discharges. After discussion, it was motioned by Levi Garcher that Dagan proceed forward with the higher quote, which includes a 3-inch line for, quote, farmers and a 2-inch line for residential fills. The motion passed unanimously. The meeting concluded with Trustee Grant Allen offering to pursue other community boards to see about possibly grouping together to fight the proposed new mechanical water treatment plant rules, an extremely expensive proposal the town can ill afford.
According to the Cortez Journal, with photos from the AP file, Western states are watching with interest as Arizona comes up against a deadline to approve a plan to ensure a key reservoir doesn't become unusable for farmers, cities, tribes, and developers that depend on it. The other 6 states in the Colorado River Basin have agreed to plans that recognize a long-running drought, the dwindling supply of water, and how they intend to cope with it. Arizona's plan has broad support, but it hasn't been approved by the legislature, a factor that has made the negotiations on the drought contingency plan more complex. No other state required lawmakers to sign off. The U.S. Bureau of Reclamation expects full agreement Thursday. If the deadline isn't met, the agency will ask states to weigh in on how the overtaxed river water should be allocated ahead of its shortage projections in August. Without a consensus plan, the federal agency has said it will make the rules. The deadline requires only that the states sign off on the drought plan. There is no legal requirement to figure out exactly how states will live up to the reductions outlined. Under existing guidelines, Arizona would be first hit and hardest in the lower basin if Lake Mead on the state's border with Nevada falls below 1,075 feet because Arizona has the lowest priority rights to the river. If the drought plan is approved, cuts would be spread more widely and eventually loop in California. Mexico also has agreed to cutbacks. And now let's take a look at the weather.
The national weather today is all about the frigid air temps coming down from the Arctic blast hitting the central and eastern U.S., bringing with it storms that could produce up to a couple of feet of snow in some areas. Rain and thunderstorms remain in play over the southeast and along the Gulf Coast, while you can see that snow tapering off over the Dakotas and another rain and rain-snow mix over northern California and the Sierras. Our regional forecast is for a quiet period as far as the short term is concerned. The jet stream is moving overhead, providing the impetus for some cirrus clouds across much of the Great Basin and our region. These clouds will become common through the morning hours and lift for the afternoon. No precipitation is expected. Low temperatures will continue to run several degrees cooler than models indicate. So our local DCTV 5-day area forecast is calling for today mostly sunny with a high near 37, north-northwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Tonight mostly clear with a low around 14. Wednesday sunny with a high near 40 degrees. Wednesday night mostly clear with a low around 16. Thursday sunny with a high near 41 degrees. Thursday night a little warmer, mostly cloudy with a low around 23 degrees. Friday mostly sunny with a high near 43, with Friday night partly cloudy and a low to 28. Then comes Saturday, where right now a chance of snow showers is forecast before 1 p.m. and then a chance of rain and snow showers in the early afternoon and a chance of just rain showers after 2 p.m. With the warmer temps, mostly cloudy the evening, the high of the day will be 41, and Saturday night again a chance of rain showers continues before 11 p.m. and then a chance of rain and snow showers between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. Mostly cloudy with a low around 28 degrees, breezy, so we'll see if anything accumulates or if it just melts in. And for Sunday, we return to mostly cloudy skies with a high near 39. Sunday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 25. And speaking of rain and snow, the moisture has been racking up around the area. As we reported last week, a section of Montezuma County has backed down from the highest D4 level of drought to D3, and we now have a SNOTEL graphic out from January 24th data, which is also showing significant increase in moisture around southwest Colorado. This will be up on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page for those who'd like to share this information. And now, back to the news.
From the Cortez Journal, with most members set, a citizens group that aims to provide input on the Environmental Protection Agency Superfund site of mining areas around Silverton will meet for the first time Thursday. In fall 2016, the EPA formally designated the Bonita Peak Mining District Superfund site, which consists of nearly 50 mine-related sites around Silverton that contribute to degrading water quality in the Animas River. As part of every Superfund site, those invested in the community have the option of forming a community advisory group, more commonly known as a CAG, to provide direct input to the EPA about cleanup activities and other issues. For the past few months, Peter Butler with the Animas River Stakeholders Group, Ty Churchwell with the Trout Unlimited, and Marcel Gastembide, the Animas River Keeper for the San Juan Citizens Alliance, have worked as a formation committee to help create a group of 15 members. In all, Butler said more than 30 people, mostly from La Plata County, applied to be part of the group. Butler said government entities were given the option to appoint their own representation. Otherwise, the formation committee tried to pick people with a diverse range of interests, from mining to recreation to conservation. The committee also tried to pick people from all age groups. As of Monday, the city of Durango, La Plata County, and the town of Silverton had not appointed a member to represent their interests. Megan Graham, spokeswoman for La Plata County, said a person will be appointed this week. Calls to the town of Silverton were not returned, but Butler said he expected the town will appoint someone to the group.
Local Dolores County Sheriff's update. The outgoing Dolores County Sheriff, Jerry Martin, was celebrated by a retirement party on Saturday, January 5th. The incoming sheriff is Leslie Dawn Wilson, who has worked with the office for 10 years before being elected to sheriff last November. In Sheriff Wilson's restructuring of his office, Deputy David Harrington, who had run for the sheriff's position and lost, was terminated. The two young deputies that had been hired on last year remain on staff, while additional temporary workers fill in as Sheriff Wilson works towards filling the open spots more permanently. During the January 17th town board meeting, Sheriff Wilson was in attendance to provide the standard sheriff's report, which the DC press coverage stated, quote, he didn't have yet, but he did fill in the town with the current situation as follows, they wrote. The officer is down to just 2 deputies, Perkett and Banks, but he does have 3 part-time deputies helping to cover weekend shifts. Also, he stated that a new undersheriff had been hired. He is from Texas and is working on obtaining his post-provisional certification so that he may start. Also, one potential new deputy is now in training at post and will be employed once graduated, end quote. In the meeting, Mayor Martin questioned the current state of contracts with the sheriff's office since no town deputy is available once again. Town manager Frazier recommended paying the regular contract and withholding the additional until a dedicated town deputy was available. Sheriff Wilson concurred. Thus, there will be no enforcement of town ordinances until the time the position can be filled, end quote.
According to the Cortez Journal, Kroger and Microsoft are joining forces to bring the ease of online shopping to brick-and-mortar grocery stores. Kroger, America's biggest supermarket chain, which includes City Market, has remodeled 2 stores to test out the new features, which include digital shelves that can show ads and change prices on the fly, along with a network of sensors that keep track of products and help speed shoppers through the aisles. Kroger could eventually roll out the cloud-based system it developed with Microsoft in all of its 2,780 supermarkets. The alliance is the latest example of how big U.S. retailers are deploying data-rich technology to improve the often tedious ritual of food shopping and keep pace with Amazon.com, which is bent on grabbing a bigger share of the $860 billion U.S. food retail market. For Microsoft, the deal helps grow its cloud business, which lags behind Amazon's, but has found willing customers like Kroger and Walmart, which are loath to line the pockets of Jeff Bezos. Kroger also hopes to sell the technology to other retailers, potentially opening up a new revenue stream with fatter profit margins than selling groceries.
Reported in the Journal from High Country News, photos David Goldman, AP file. In late 2017, someone online offered a 25-year-old Jehan a maid service job in a town 6 hours from her home outside Gallup, New Mexico. She was skeptical. She'd have to leave her 2 children behind temporarily, but she needed the income, so she and her sister, Marissa, both Navajo Nation citizens, drove to a town near the New Mexico-Texas border. Both sisters' names have been changed to protect their identities. Upon their arrival, the sisters were kidnapped and physically abused and coerced by threats against their family. For months, they were forced into sexual acts and labor, with their earnings funneled to their traffickers. After 3 months, Marissa escaped on a bus back to Gallup. Their relatives informed police that Marissa had returned, but that Jehan was still missing. According to the family, though, no follow-up occurred. Jehan's status as a missing person remained unchanged. County police did not return requests for comment. The family only recently learned to call what had happened to their daughters trafficking. And as far as state, regional, and national data are concerned, both sisters remain uncounted as Native American victims of human trafficking. Stories like Jehan and Marissa are not uncommon, unfortunately. According to advocates, human trafficking of Indigenous people is a quiet crisis because national and regional data on the issue are limited to or non-existent. To tackle the problem, in 2016, the National Institute of Justice, the research, development, and evaluation agency of the U.S. Department of Justice, awarded funding to study sex trafficking in Indigenous communities. Advocates say that this move would have DOV provided a pivotal first step in addressing the issue by conducting a national needs assessment. However, in early 2017, in the middle of the Trump administration transition, the study was killed. The NIJ cited administration issues for the scuttling of the report. Upon request for more information, the NIJ did not elaborate further. At the time, new administration and congressional research priorities were not yet set. However, former NIJ-affiliated researchers not involved with the trafficking study say that its elimination fits a wider pattern of current leadership shifting its focus away from researching violent crime committed against minority groups. The NIJ is the lead federal agency when it comes to research and evaluation of crime and justice issues, including trafficking, and is responsible for some of the most frequently cited research on violence against Native American women. But the agency's priorities are set by Congress, and each new administration and annual calls for research proposals change with the political tides as the NIJ director makes the final funding decisions. Tribal coalitions throughout the country, representing a network of more than 80 tribes, had signed on to participate in the study, which would have helped illuminate the convoluted process by which cases are currently identified, investigated, and prosecuted. The potential for trafficking research on a national scale rests in large part with the NIJ and the studies it chooses to fund. Until a needs assessment for human trafficking in Indian country takes place, researchers say the narratives from within Native American communities and the threads between them will remain largely impenetrable for policymakers.
From the Cortez Journal, officials say a prize-winning steer has been auctioned for a record-setting amount at the National Western Stock Show in Denver. Ames Construction Company made a winning bid of $150,000 for the grand champion steer at Friday night's auction of junior competitors' livestock. Cutter Bland, a 17-year-old from Slayton, Texas, showed the 1,339-pound steer. The auction sales of 8 champion animals totaled $480,000. Stock show officials say the auction process proceeds support young exhibitors as they plan for college and future agricultural work. A portion of the proceeds also go toward the National Western Scholarship Trust. The trust provides scholarships in agricultural studies and rural medicine at colleges in Colorado and Wyoming.
And now today's High Canyon Country happenings. February 2nd, the 4th annual Putt-Putt Tournament. Join Onward, a legacy foundation in Cortez from 4 to 7 p.m. as they putt their way up and down Main Street for a good cause. Gather a team of 4, choose your favorite TV character, dress up and play to support Onward's endowment fund. Register online or at the Onward office. Tickets are $75 per person or $300 for a team of 4. And Mancus Food Share is hosting a free 6-week cooking course, which kicks off next Monday. The course is aimed at parents and child caregivers, and at each class session, participants will prepare a meal together and discuss cooking, health, and nutrition. Child care will be available on site if needed, and attendees will receive groceries to take home every week. Classes will meet Mondays from 10 a.m. to noon, February 4th through March 18th at the Mount Lookout Grange, 680 Grand Avenue. For more information or to RSVP, call Nicole Halliday at 623-2925 or visit the organization's Facebook page online. And once again, it's time for the 41st annual Snowdown Winter Festival event in Durango. That runs from January 30th through February 3rd. The theme is Get Your Comic On. There are all types of tied-in events happening across town throughout the event, from the Wednesday Snowdown fashion do's and don'ts at the fairgrounds to a scavenger hunt at the Billy Goat Saloon, to all types of contests like a spellathon, ping pong tournament, to bed racing. It's time to kick out your cabin fever and celebrate. The entire list of all the events are all detailed on Snowdown's website, which is snowdown.org. And all of these happenings are posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, original stories, and local posts. To share your event or information with us, contact us. The email is dcbnnews@gmail.com or call us at the station 970-677-4119.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Thursday and then is available online on our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page on demand.
Be sure to like us there on Facebook and join in on the news of our area. And of course, please share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook with DCTV and the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.